When we do this invocation, before we start, we must remember that we are not just the body who is seeking a partner, all right? Or if you have a partner, we're not just looking for spicing things up. We are doing this invocation from the perspective that we are a soul, and the love that we experience from God, the love that we get from God, the love that we have within us, this love also spreads out and impacts our world, impacts the people in our life. That if we already have a partner, to make the relationship better, and if you're single, then to attract the right person for us. So let's keep our posture straight. Let's close our eyes and invoke to the Supreme God, Divine Father, Divine Mother, to my spiritual teacher, Master Choa Kok Sui, to Lord Mahaguruji Mailing, to all the great ones, the holy gurus, holy masters, saints, archangels, holy angels, and spiritual helpers, to my higher self, to the angels of love and wisdom, to the angels of relationships. We invoke for your blessings of divine light, love, and power, healing, guidance, and protection. Thank you for your blessings of abundance, prosperity, spirituality, and happy, healthy relationships. We thank you in full faith. Take a deep breath. Keep your eyes closed. While your eyes are still closed, feel the love in your heart. Exhale and release it to the space that you live in, to the people in that space. Take a deep breath once more. Be aware of the heart that you have for everyone and radiate that love out. Your place of work, place of residence, all the people around. Lastly, take another deep breath. Be aware of your heart and your crown. Be aware of the entire earth and release that love into the air. Right. Take another deep breath. Exhale and open your eyes with a smile. Atma Namaste. Welcome to the Soulful Sessions on Prana World on how to have a healthy love life. Now, in this session, you potentially belong to one or two of these two categories. You're either single or you are a couple, okay? For simplistic purposes, we're just representing it with these icons because according to a very popular saying that when you're single, all you see around you are happy couples. And when you're in a committed relationship, all you see around you are happy singles. We're going to be talking a little bit on if you're already in this kind of a situation, how to make this bond better, happier, more loving using certain energy techniques. If you're single, then we're going to try and get you to this category using energy techniques. And of course, I'm not guaranteeing anything because it's you, it's your love life, it's your energy. So you're going to have to put in the work. Okay. We can't do the things for you and you'll attract a partner magically. Otherwise, we would be swimming in partners. So it's your situation. You've got to do the work. If you by any chance belong to this third category, then I'm afraid we probably can't do much for you. Okay. Forever alone. Yeah. This category we're not going to deal with. Now, let's get serious. Family life, according to Master Choa Kok Sui, is one of the fastest ways towards spiritual development because inevitably there is a relationship friction. You develop self-sacrifice, self-control, patience, flexibility, and tolerance. Now, this is a line we've come across in the Golden Lotus Sutras of Master Choa Kok Sui, and we usually focus on the first part, that family life is one of the fastest ways of spiritual development. And we say, okay, you know what? We are in this situation, we're in this relationship, and things are not working out, but let's stay together because we are going to make sure that we develop spiritually, okay? Well, you see, what you end up developing, what comes up out of that is self-sacrifice, self-control, patience, flexibility, and tolerance. If both parties feel that way, if both parties develop all these characteristics together, then it's good. But if it's one party which feels that, oh, I'm the one who's always sacrificing, I'm the one who's always being flexible, I'm the one who's always forgiving, we've got trouble. We've got a storm brewing in a teapot. What makes a relationship work despite all these difficult moments is, well, love. Love, according to Master Choa Kok Sui, is the lubricant. And it's this lubricant that helps us to accept people as they are and to treat them with enough care and understanding. Now, besides love, there are other factors we need to consider in order to improve the condition of our relationships. And this may come across as a bit of a surprise, but we need to realize that relationships is not a war. There's no winner or loser when you have an argument or when you have a quarrel. Okay. Type yes if you agree with me. Type no if you don't care. Relationships are meant to be a training ground to help us become stronger, to become more compassionate. These problems, they happen more or less for everyone. The key is knowing how to address them and solve them. Now, you might have faced the situation where you've done your spiritual courses, you've done some spiritual courses, you've done some spiritual practices, and then you come home, you're feeling all good, all happy, all charged up, and then your partner just says something very careless, all right? Just something that just really upsets you, and all that good feeling that you experienced after your workshop is now washed clean. You're flying high in the clouds and boom, now you're swimming in mud. Have you experienced this? Yes or no? And then you start internally fuming at your partner. You say, okay, instead of connecting tongue to palate, you've connected teeth to teeth, your own teeth. You're like, okay, I've done the workshop. I'm a spiritual person. I'm not going to say anything to you. In spite of all your problems, next thing you know, you're mentally doing Kung Fu. And before you know it, you've lost the connection of tongue to palate and you've said something hurtful. And the other person, they've reacted with intense hurt and intense anger as well. Okay. See, when you are in the path of spirituality, I am assuming that because you're already in the session, you already have some sort of a spiritual background. When you're already in this path, your energy, your aura is already bigger in size. So anything you say to the other person, anything that you communicate to the other person will have a snowballing effect. It's going to hurt them a little bit more just because your aura is bigger. Do you agree? Point being, have you noticed that you may have made a statement, a casual statement to your partner or to someone you're interested in, and that statement has suddenly been misinterpreted, misunderstood, and before you know it, you've got a fight on your hands. And you're wondering, how did this even happen? I didn't mean for this to happen. It just, how? Have you experienced this kind of thing? Yes or no? Okay, chat box is filling up with yeses. So before we go into solving these problems, because you're already aware of them, I'm going to go a little bit into something that we discussed a couple of Tuesdays prior, which is the 5 love languages. This is from the website, The Ladies Coach, but it's also a book, right? Where it talks about the different love languages that we have. What is a love language? See, we as human beings, this is a psychology course. If you know about this, if any of you know about this, please let me know in the chat. If this is the first time you're getting this, there are 5 main languages that we have, that we speak when we communicate love. Starts from acts of service, where you want to help others, you want to lighten their loads. Okay, that if your partner is very busy, you do the chores for them, you do the dishes, you help them out, maybe even give them a massage. You do acts of service. You spend quality time. That could be another love language. That, okay, you know what? You've been working very hard. You've been spending a lot of time at work. Let me just spend some time with you. Let me listen to you. Let me hear you complain. I'm here for you. The third type could be receiving gifts, where you show that you are paying attention to your partner and you give them something which makes them feel appreciated. It doesn't have to be something expensive like a car or a watch or a house or anything like that. It could be something as simple as a flower, which is, hey, you know what? I was thinking of you. I know that you like this particular color, and I know this is something useful. Now, mind you, receiving or giving gifts, it can also be misinterpreted, because sometimes we have this tendency of giving gifts that we really want for ourselves. I've seen this happen. This guy, he likes this particular band, Imagine Dragons, and he wants to go on a concert. He wants to go to the concert. So on his wife's birthday, he gives her tickets for Imagine Dragons for the concert. She doesn't really care about the band, but he wants to go, so he gifted it to her. Classic miscommunication, misunderstanding. Then there's physical touch. It's a touch to show love, a pat, a hug, a kiss, an act of physical intimacy. Then there's words of affirmation, where you're encouraging, affirming, appreciating, and actively listening to the person. It's like, hey, good work, good job. I appreciate you. Based on what you know of yourself, depending upon your comfort level, would you write in the chat, what language do you think that you speak? Are you a person who enjoys words of affirmation? Do you like being told that, yes, you're doing a good job? Do you like being hugged? Okay, let's break it down before you start writing. See, we don't necessarily have just one love language. We can have multiples. We can have multiple love languages. You can enjoy receiving gifts. You can also enjoy words of affirmation. So see which ones apply to you. Some will be more, some will be less, some might be equal. So do you enjoy being told, being communicated that you're doing a good work, good job, that you are loving, you're cared for? Do you enjoy hugs, kisses, cuddling? Do you enjoy receiving thoughtful gifts and gestures? Do you feel happy when people give you things? Are you the kind of person where you enjoy experiences, small walks, holidays, doing small things with your partner? So find out which one of these characteristics apply to you. The reason why I'm asking you to write this down, which one applies to you, is so that you know your own love language, and therefore you'll be able to communicate this better with your partner. If you have a partner, if you don't have a partner, note it down regardless, because we'll be working on this. And of course, the last one, acts of service, where you help them, you go out of your way to help them. Okay. Take a minute and note down, either in the chat. If you're putting it in the chat, we're going to be blessing it. All right. So it's going to be adding to your energy to have this in the chat, because all of us, we're going to just go there, go through the messages and just bless. If that applies to you. So which one are you? Do you enjoy quality time and words of affirmation? Are you the kind of person who enjoys the hugs and kisses and the physical touch component? Are you the kind of person who doesn't know which one, and so they think all of them apply to me? If you're the kind of person who thinks that no, all of them apply to me in more or less degrees, now this is where things are going to be a little interesting, because you're going to have to put your top two there. Put the top two. See, this is love languages, which means all of these feel good. All of these feel nice. And you got to see which is your number one and number two. So there are some who are saying that the words of affirmation and hugs and the rest of all of them, they hold true. Well, there you know, your words of affirmation and your physical touch are your most important love languages, and the others are in varying degrees. So write down your top two and the others in varying degree. Why is this important? Because when you know yourself, you will be able to help your partner love you better. And if you're already in a relationship, if you are already in a situation where you have a partner, you are getting married, you've already gotten married, or you've got kids and the kids are about to get married, maybe you're in that kind of a situation. In that case, knowing this and being able to communicate with the partner might just add an additional spark to your ongoing relationship. Sometimes the corollary is this: we might be finding out that, okay, I think my partner likes receiving gifts and enjoys quality time. And then you say, you know what, my partner loves giving gifts, but sometimes, they tend to forget special occasions. They don't remember when it's my pet dog's birthday, or they don't remember when this happened or that happened, or they don't remember where we had our third anniversary of going to the place for the second time. Nowadays on social media, we see people wishing each other happy anniversary, and it's the first anniversary, not of their marriage, but of the first time they held hands, or the first anniversary of the first time they hugged, or the first anniversary of the first time their parents found out and chased them out of the room. Things, vary. Knowing the other person's love language is important so you can avoid miscommunication. Miscommunication is one of the biggest situations which apply. Miscommunications can be one of the biggest situations which can cause our relationships to deteriorate. Type yes or no if you have experienced this. Type yes or no if you have experienced a situation where miscommunications have caused a good relationship to become bad or destroyed completely. Miscommunication, misunderstanding, maybe not just romantically, could be professionally, could be in your home, could be anywhere. Miscommunication. See, most relationship problems come from poor communication. When there's a lack of attention, there will be a lack of understanding. And when there's a misunderstanding, there will be miscommunication and misinterpretation. Okay. Think of the number of times you have exchanged a message with somebody and the other person has replied in an unexpected fashion. How many times has it happened that messages, written texts, WhatsApp messages, SMS messages, emails have been misinterpreted and misunderstood? See, most of human communication is like 80% is nonverbal communication. It's body language, the way you stand, the way you talk. It's not what you say. Make a note of this. It's not what you say. It's how you say it. It's not what you say. It's how you say it. I love you compared to, I love you. Which one sounds better? Hey, I love you. I care for you. Why do you ask? Compare that to, I love you. I care for you now, Baba. Why do you ask me 365 days, 7 days, 24, blah, 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 blah. Happens, right? Has happened to me. It's not easy always affirming. This is where these clashes happen. Sometimes we expect a word of affirmation that you expect the person to say, I appreciate you, I love you, I care for you. But the other partner doesn't speak that language. For them, it's quality time. So what's happening? You have two people who speak opposite languages. One person expects to be told every day that they're cared for, while the other person is showing that they love them by spending quality time. I say, hey, I don't tell you that I care for you, but I go out with you. Anytime you want to go somewhere, time you want to eat out or to travel or whatever, I'm always ready for it. So the two partners, they are expressing love in diametrically different styles. And that leads to problems in communication. You either don't recognize or appreciate the effort, or you get distracted. So listening is an art. When you communicate with your partner, you need to give them your full attention. You need to understand their ideas, their wants, their needs. So proper communication, well, you see, you can't communicate well if you're reading the paper or checking your messages or checking how many likes you got on that last selfie you uploaded. Only 1,200 likes on my last selfie? I must be getting old, right? Time to do some pranic beauty. Well, I don't know if that happens, but I've seen people do it. So these are the examples I'm citing are examples from real life, by the way, where we've handled relationship healings based on these kind of issues. So you can't be distracted and expect the other person to be putting in their 100%. So the first thing, give each other enough time to speak without interrupting. Listen well and reply with respect. Use your body language to show them that you're listening. Even if you don't agree with what you've heard, even if you are expressing your opinion differently, do so with respect. Respect is a sign of maturity. You can't communicate well if this stuff is happening over text. If you're in a long distance relationship, okay, If you guys are in a long distance relationship and you're facing relationship issues, show of hands, people, a lot of your issues can be avoided if you respect each other's time, if you respect each other's styles of communication, and you know your love languages. A very dear friend of mine got into a fight with his girlfriend, a gem of a person, because of a classic, you don't have any time for me issue. And he's like, they're in different cities. They are in a long distance relationship. They're very good together, but they were having this constant issue of, he doesn't have enough time for me, and she thinks I don't care for her. What was needed was for them to spend quality time together to understand where each of them were coming from. That she needs a certain type of love language, he needs a certain type of love language, and they have to work out a schedule where they don't necessarily step on each other's feet, because they're working. They're in high stress jobs. They're in high stress, high performance environments. So when one person suddenly feels a need to talk and the other person's in the middle of something, they might reply very carelessly saying, hey, I'm busy right now, don't talk to me. And the other person naturally, very naturally feels hurt. It would hurt a lot if they were in the same space, but it hurts even more when they're not. So because with our body language, we can just put the hand out and say, busy right now, I'll talk to you after 1 hour. But when we are communicating non-verbally via text, quite problematic. Solution: give each other enough time to speak without interrupting. This is applicable on text. This is applicable for long distance relationships as well as physical ones. Listen well, reply with respect. If you're in a relationship and there's a gap physically as well as distance-wise or emotionally, you'd have something called lack of trust, right? Extreme openness, according to Master Choa Sui, between partners occurs when they feel a lot of love. You also need to stand by your words. If you promise to finish a task or to be home at a certain time or to call, do it. When you show commitment to your words and promises, you will be trusted more. Trusted more, not just by your partner, if you're in a relationship, but by people who can potentially become your partner because you're trustworthy. Because remember, when there's love, there's openness. One of the most fulfilling emotional relationships that I have been in, not a romantic one, a friendship, okay? There is a great deal of trust between me and my partner. When she goes through a difficult time, not necessarily communicating it in her words, but there's a style of communication. When that style differs and I know something's wrong, sometimes I will press saying, tell me what's going on. I want to know. Other times I will say, you know what, whatever it is, I've got your back. I'm there with you. I trust you. I care for you. You need me to do anything, I'm here. My partner should feel comfortable enough to not have to tell me certain things. So while the first part is communication, the second part is trust. If your partner is uncomfortable telling you something, don't press them. They might be processing a difficult situation in their own way. Maybe they will tell you when the situation is sorted out and they feel they have control over things. Because remember, what did Master Choa Sui say in the opening things? It develops trust, self-sacrifice, self-control, and all of those good qualities. And how do you develop those good qualities if there isn't a test which makes it happen? Do you agree with this? That openness doesn't necessarily mean talking all the time. Sometimes openness can be silence also. Do you agree? See, trust is one of the most important ingredients to have in a strong and a happy relationship. Just as you expect your partner to give you full trust, you need to trust them back. Trust is a key element of any relationship. However, trust isn't created overnight. It needs to be gained. If you are not receiving it, you need to reflect. You need to look back at what you've done and what has caused distrust in your relationship. All right, show of hands. If you have been in a situation where your partner has been reluctant to share something with you, it's not happened just once, but a number of times, you need to reflect. What did you do which has started this distrust? Now you can say that, he was always like this, never listened to me, always saying certain things or behaving in a certain way, which was not transparent. Now, if you're the one who finds it difficult to trust others, then you need to address the unresolved issues from your past that prevents you from trusting them. Transparency, taking responsibility, honesty, and care can help you gain trust towards each other very easily. What are them? Transparency, taking responsibility, honesty, and care. You also need to stand by your words. We go back to this. If you promise to finish a task, finish it. If you've promised to be home at a certain time or to call, do it. Sure, you might be running late. Again, communicate. Let them know, I'm running late. I'm stuck here. I will call you in 1 hour. And be available. Be available in times of crisis. Don't overreact. Don't lose your head. Help them overcome the difficulty. This will also help people trust you more because you're available when you're needed. So if this applies to the single people, be available. You can say, I've been hurt by life. I am going through so much pain. Dude, you're 25 years old. There's a lot more life left to live. All right. Open yourself up. You're not the character in a movie. Okay. They're not writing books on you. Get over yourself. Be available. Be available in times of crisis. Put yourself out there. Be honest with yourself. Are you more content doing energy work and moving your hands around in circles and triangles? Or do you really go out and speak to people? If you're looking to be in a happy matrimony, the first step would be to go out and talk to people. Not texting on WhatsApp saying, hello, are you looking to get married? How many kids do you want to have? That's creepy. Step 1, meet people. Also, if this has made you laugh by any chance, you can type ha 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 in the chat window. Kind of helps me give some feedback. Right. So step 1 in happy relationships, go out and meet people. Don't just move your hands about in the air saying, materialize a partner for me, dear God. Right. There you go. Now we've got the chats and the ha-has and he-he's coming in. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You see, that kind of helps because, see, all the video cameras are off because of internet and speed and whatnot. Otherwise, I'd be seeing you and talking. But yeah, if the more you tap and chat, interact all these things, it makes difference. So yeah, good. Now that we know, step 1 for a happy relationship, meet people. Great. Now, next step, you've got money, or maybe you don't have money. Though money might seem to be a trivial issue, especially when the love is so intense, like our love is important. It will last through the world like the love of Salim and Anarkali. Well, see, Salim had money enough to build the Taj Mahal for his beloved Anarkali, I think. So love is one of the very important factors in keeping a relationship going. Many relationships have fallen apart, not just because of communication and trust, but because of not having enough money. For some married couples, money problems can start even before the wedding, all right? Or because the high cost of the wedding. So, in at least in the Indian culture or in many cultures, people save up for 3 things. They save up for buying a house, they save up for buying a car, and they save up for their wedding or their kid's wedding. Education can happen later. Who cares about education? Get them married, let them get settled. Who cares about a degree when you can have many degrees of children? That kind of stuff. So if you have money worries, it's better for you and your future to spend some time with your partner before marriage and have a serious conversation about finances. Be honest about your current financial situation. You really need to be realistic. You need to know where you are right now and where you want to be in another 1, 3, or 5 years, or 5, 10, 15 years. Okay. So if you remember the couple whose example I was giving you some time back, loving relationship, high pressure, high performance jobs, but communication issues, they were not getting along. One of the solutions was meet. You're in two different cities on two sides of the coast, catch up, meet somewhere in the middle and spend a week together. Okay. What that will do is give you a chance to meet and air out your issues. And they did. To their credit, they did. They sorted things out beautifully, remarkably. I could write a book about it. Well, maybe actually I'll just doing a Tuesday session about it. By the way, they were the inspiration behind this talk because of the way they resolved their issues. One of the solutions that they worked upon, and they actually wrote stuff down, was that we are going to meet after every 4 or 5 weeks. One time she's going to travel, one time he's going to travel. And then they said, you know what? We might not be able to meet every 4 weeks because of airfare. It's expensive. And then they worked it out saying, you know what? We can take a train. We're working remotely. We can take a train. We can travel and meet somewhere in 1/3 of the budget. We don't have to stay in an expensive place. We can stay in each other's apartments in a make-do location. We don't have to eat out all the time. And then they looked at me and said, you can feed us. And I was like, haha, sometimes my advice is very expensive for even me. They sorted things out. They had an honest conversation about finances. And I think that's remarkable. Because oftentimes, different example, relationships, I've seen relationships fall apart when one part of the couple is making disproportionately more money than the other one. Now, usually it tends to be the guy making more than the girl. I know it sounds sexist, but reality of the world we live in. But sometimes the girl makes much more than the guy. And if the guy is not secure enough in his own mind, it just starts coming out. Like, hey, you make more than me. You think you can start saying things like this and that. Very rude, very unfair, very immature. So even before the relationship, even before starting on, you need to have an honest communication about your finances. In order to change any situation, you need to have a clear and objective view towards your life and the problems that you're facing. Okay, be transparent. If you've got debts, or if you've got mounting credit card stuff, or you've got some old loans, or if you've made financial mistakes, okay, maybe you bought a big pair of red shoes whose EMI you're still paying for. Talk about it. Talk about it, acknowledge it, write stuff down. But don't blame the other person for all of the small mistakes which might happen as a result of that stress. Acknowledge your own mistakes so that your partner will acknowledge theirs. I'm going to repeat that again. Acknowledge your own mistakes so that your partner will acknowledge theirs. Furthermore, if you are familiar with our Hatha Yoga, you know about tithing. If you're familiar with pranic healing, you know about tithing. So construct a budget, write a spreadsheet, write it on pen and paper, construct a budgetary policy that both of you agree to follow. Okay. Include your savings in the budgeting. Write down how much you're going to save, how much you're going to spend. So, typically you should be saving about 30%. So, but you can start with 10%. Start by saving 10% and gradually increase your savings to 30%. Would you like a financial bonus? Would a financial bonus tip interest any of you? If you're young, if you're old, I'm not giving you stock market tips, but I'm going to give you a tip on savings and stuff. If you're interested, yes. If not, just, we'll pass it over. All right, this is interesting. Some people are saying yes, and some yeses have more S's in them. So I know that you're more interested with the increasing number of yeses. Okay. Here's the equation. Income minus expenses equals savings, right? Income minus expenses equals savings. Can someone write this down in the chat? Income minus expenses equals savings. Flip this around. Income minus savings equals expenses. Someone write that down. Income minus savings equals expenses. And pay attention to what it says. When you have received your salary at the beginning of the month, keep your savings aside immediately. Have a separate bank account Have a separate checkings account or a savings account where you're going to transfer your savings for the month, 10%, 30%, whatever, straight off. And then whatever else is left, that will be your expenses. Now, what do these expenses include? Your loan repayments, your EMIs, your credit card debts, your fees, your rent, your food. After all of that, whatever else you have, from there you can invest, from there you can spend on your needs. I'll share my personal investment policy here with you. I'm not a salaried person, right? My income comes in lots and bits throughout the month, usually the first half of the month. But I have set aside a date, which is coincident with my birthday. I have set aside a date. On that particular date, which is in the middle of the month, I will be making all my tithings, my savings and investments. So that amount of money, say 10,000 bucks, goes out into my savings account on the 13th of every month, Another 10,000 bucks goes off into my tithing account, where it goes for charity, and I get a reminder, okay, I have to do my tithing and I have to do it. Another percentage goes off for my investments. There are systematic investment plans for making sure that your wealth is building up over time. Bonus to the bonus tip, please start investing. Put your money into mutual funds, into shares and stock markets, because overall, it'll give you an increasing return. And you might say, you know what? I don't know enough about the share market. I don't know enough about the stock market. It's easier to put the money into my savings account or fixed deposit. Guys, people, Atmas, inflation is going to eat away your savings. You're going to get what, 5%, 6% in your savings, from your bank or from your other investments. If the rate of inflation is 7%, any money which you're keeping in your bank at the end of the month, at the end of the year, is getting eroded away. So why do you want to waste your money to government inflation, to the economy? Put it in the share market, put it in the stock market, invest your savings. So income minus your savings. Well, then let's expand the equation. Income minus savings minus investment equal to expenses. So you are allowed to spend after you have saved, tithed, and invested for the month. And this might lead to an argument with your partner, but then you have to really sit down and say, look, we are going to be facing all of these budgetary things. Haven't you noticed the price of things are going up every year? The price of fuel, my God. So investments are separate from savings, but your expenses are separate from all of them. So your income on the one hand, you've got your tithing, you've got your savings, you've got your investments on the other hand. The difference between the two, what's left over, that's what you're allowed to spend. This is part of budget. Master Choa Kok Sui says you should have a budget. What does he say? You should have a budget. So in your budget, keep that space for your income, for your expenses, for your tithing, for your savings. I hope this additional bonus part was of use. I hope this section was of some importance. By the way, bonus to the bonus. If you're looking for prosperity healings, for increasing your income, for increasing your prosperity energy, Prana World is offering mass prosperity healings. This is happening a couple of times a week, morning and evening. Sign up. I genuinely recommend you to sign up, pay the healing fee. You see, a part of that fee, part of your healing fee, goes towards being tithed on your behalf, and the good karma is decreed to return back to you. So if there's anyone from the team, if you could put the link to the mass healing in the chat, that would be awesome. Where can you find the teachings? Where can you find of all of these? Much of this is taken from the Golden Lotus Sutras of Master Choa Kok Sui. So we've gone very deep into, say, the basic chakra for mass healings, for prosperity healings, for a very deep discussion about money. It's one of my subjects which I'm kind of passionate about, because I feel we should be making systematic investments and growing our capital and becoming prosperous. Why is it important to become prosperous? So that we can help and heal other people. Because the more money we have, the more we're able to tithe. The more we're able to tithe, the more good karma. The more good karma, well, the more we can help. And if you don't agree with this, coincidentally, the next section we're going to talk about is disagreements. If you faced disagreements in life, if you face disagreements due to small issues becoming very big, or big issues becoming catastrophic, and catastrophic, well, leads to the relationship crumbling away entirely. The purpose, you see, it's not to stop arguments, but it's to handle them in a more mature way. When disagreements happen, it's not the matter of who's right or who's wrong. It's about doing the right thing. It's a matter of handling the situation properly and in a civilized manner. It's not you versus me. It's you and me together versus the problem. I want to say that again. It's not you versus me. It's you and me together versus the problem. See, coming from different backgrounds and being raised in different environments, we all think, feel, and act differently. Therefore, there'll always be different opinions and disagreements in any relationship. You can't find any two people with similar beliefs, with exactly 100% similar beliefs and personalities. So the purpose isn't to stop the arguments, but to handle them maturely. You're not fighting who's right or who's wrong, okay? You do the right thing, and you're going to do the right thing in a civilized manner, because reacting strongly in the middle of an argument just makes everything worse, just really, really bad. So you wait for the right time when both of you are emotionally calm. A common response to an argument is some sort of a controlling behavior or denial. It's you said this, or she said that, and he said this, and you did that, or you didn't do this. It just escalates. So what happens? Take a deep breath. Do this with me. Inhale, exhale. You want to make it more impactful? Inhale. Think of, if your partner's really upset you and your shoulders are all scrunched up, inhale. Take a deep breath. Stick your tongue out, like open your mouth and stick your tongue out, and then exhale. You feel ridiculous, don't you? Your partners or anyone moving around you are saying, oh my God, my tongue is out, and I'm going, ugh. Do it once more. Inhale. Tongue out. Yep, very good use of the tongue out emoji. Exhale. Laughing, aren't you? Feels funny, doesn't it? You feel giggling inside. If you do this, you will calm down very quickly. Of course, I'm not recommending that you do this when you're in the middle of an argument, because your partner might think that you've really gone mad. Or they might just get completely disarmed and they might start laughing with you. In which case, you can take another deep breath and again, stick your tongue out and not at each other. Not at each other, I warn you. Just stick your tongue out, exhale, relax, and carry on from there again. If for some reason you feel extremely self-conscious about your tongue, I don't know why you would be, but if you do, breathe. It's invisible. It's tax-free. Inhale, exhale. Do it once more with me, okay? Inhale and exhale. Feeling good? See, experiences have shown that controlling anger or controlling other people when you're angry, when you're blaming or being judgmental, or you're resisting or you're in denial, it doesn't help. The more you try to control, the more you try to stop the situation, usually it expands and conflicts even more. It's like trying to hold on to hot sand and trying to keep it under your control. It's going to flow out. So stay calm, stay detached, forgive your partner internally. Don't even try to explain. Because when your partner is emotionally disturbed, he or she won't listen to you. Example of being emotionally disturbed, all of you people are so lazy, you don't want to do things, you just want to attend a talk and think you're going to attract the right partner. I'm telling you that if you want to go out and meet people, you're going to ask me a question, where do I meet people? Feeling defensive? If I try to give you an answer, you won't listen because you're feeling defensive. Your solar plexus is like, I'm on guard duty. So relax, don't even try to explain. Once the situation calms down, you can sit and talk it over. Resolve the problem. Otherwise, they'll just get accumulated and become bigger and bigger and eventually blow out of control. After that, forgive, cut the cords, learn the lesson, let go of the past and move on. That's after you've calmed down. So in case any of you are saying that, you know what, I want a partner, but where do I get them? They're not like out there on the street. And if I go out with a fishing net, people look at me in a weird way. The good thing is we do have an energy technique for you for that after this. Yeah. Okay. Pulling each other down. Experience this? Or God forbid, done this yourself? Remembered some incident from the past that you know will hurt them, and then you fling it at them, and the other watch their self-esteem and all their good energy just go crashing down. Has that happened to you? Could be even a blast from the past, getting an unexpected message from somewhere, or being reminded of something that just triggers you. Have you experienced this? Or subjected someone to this? Have you? Because if that has happened, first thing is to know that just as your eyes have blind spots, your mind also has blind spots. We need each other to grow. Every person is different. Every person is unique. No person is better or worse. We're just different. And everyone's evolving. See, relationships, it's not a competition. Okay? It's not who's better than whom. I am better in a relationship than you are. Dude, if you are better at being in a relationship compared to your partner, do you think that's really a happy relationship? You're probably the only person in the relationship. The other person doesn't even want to be there. So relationship is not a competition. It's completion. If you look at your relationship closely, like really, really closely, you will find out that you're very different from your partner. There are many things which all of you are very different in. We know the saying, right? Opposites attract. You've heard the saying, right? Opposites attract. That's true for magnets. But reality is, like energies attract, similar stuff attracts. And for this, I'm going to go a little out of scope and talk about karmic relationships. Very brief summary, very, very brief summary. So they're two souls, right? And they have some karma to work out with each other. So the first example, there are 4 examples. The first example is when these two souls, they're already good friends. They've been friends with each other in past incarnations and past lifetimes and all that. They decide at the soul level that, hey, we're going to spend the next life. We have certain work to do. Let's come down together and we'll have a good life. And they're like, yeah, okay, sure. So these rare examples of couples, you see them, they are on the same wavelength, they understand each other, they communicate, they respect, they have great chemistry, they're always encouraging each other. They're always glowing when they're in each other's presence. You notice this. On Instagram, the genuine ones, they are actually couple goals. Okay. That's the first type. The second type is when the two souls, they have different types of personalities, different tastes and preference, but they have a common target. So they have to, say, establish a new center. They have to start a new business. They have to open a new country, something like that. Even though they're very different, they work together. They learn to work together and fulfill that common goal. That's another kind of relationship. The third kind of relationship is when the two souls, they have complementary or opposing skill sets. Okay, this is somewhat like what we're talking about. They have opposing skill sets. Over there, what happens is they need to learn from the other person. They need to take lessons and imbibe lessons from the other person and become whole. Okay, so simple example. Well, actually, kind of a funny example. The guy is always asking the girl, how do I look? Am I looking all right? Okay. And the girl is very matter of fact. She's like, yeah, you look good all the time. That's why I'm attracted to you. You don't have to ask me all the time. So she is emotionally more balanced, more cold, you might say. He is emotionally more passionate. So during the course of their lifetime, they learn how to get along with each other. The guy learns to become a little cool, becomes chill. The girl becomes hotter, becomes more passionate. So from being cold and overtly hot, the two of them achieve a median temperature, which both of them can happily work with. So it's a complementary kind of skill set. This is the kind of relationship where your role, if you're in this kind of a situation that you're very different from me, your role in that relationship is not to prove to your partner that you're right, but rather to help them see the world from your perspective. And as a result, think wider. So instead of focusing on the shortcomings and pulling each other down, embrace your differences. First step, communicate, communicate, communicate. Communicate, find out, embrace your differences, and push each other further to break your limitations. So the first type is when they're friends. The second type is when they have common goals. The third type is when they have complementary skill sets. And the fourth type is when they don't just seem to get along for anything. They are fighting for each and every occasion. They're fighting on every conceivable point. They're very strong-willed. They have very strong egos. They're fighting, fighting, fighting. And that's the fourth type. These two souls may have been in the past in a situation where they did not really get along with each other. And so the lords of karma, their higher souls, they came and said, you need to grow up. You need to work this out. And so they came together in this lifetime in order to learn the lesson of forgiveness, to learn the law of karma, to work it out. So if they're fighting on every conceivable point, if they have strong issues, if they are degrading each other, underestimating each other, fighting and always saying mean things, that's the law of karma at work. So when you help other people grow, you too will be entitled to grow. When you encourage your partner to glow and bloom, they will also respect you further and love you more. So if by any chance you are in a situation where you're experiencing this constant barrage of negativity, the solution is the law of forgiveness. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to follow along, all of us. We're going to quickly go through the chat and read all the love languages, which all the people have. And we are going to be blessing them, not just now, but later on. All right. Everyone, hands on your heart, tap your heart, point it out. Imagine your partner. Imagine your partner. If you're single, if you don't have a partner yet, direct this energy to that relationship which has forever prevented you from going and getting another partner. Okay, go back to that relationship which really irreparably damaged you and made you so forever alone. If you still don't have anyone, you've been completely negative, if you've been completely partner free, in that case, just direct the energy to the rest of the world. Or you know what? If none of this have happened to you, don't even do this. We'll come to you later. But if you are, again, experiencing this unceasing weight of emotional expectations that are crumbling your shoulder and your resolve, put your hands out at chest level. Imagine the partner in front of you. Imagine pink light covering them and say, Atma Namaste. We're all children of God. We all make mistakes. I forgive you unconditionally for everything you've done which has hurt me. I forgive you. Please forgive me for all which I have done knowingly and unknowingly, which has hurt you. God's blessings and peace be with me and with you. Go in peace. Once more. Keep your posture straight. tongue to palate, or if you don't feel like tongue to palate, stick your tongue out, exhale. Atma Namaste. We're all children of God. We're all evolving. We all make mistakes. I forgive you unconditionally for everything which you've said, done, not said, not done, which has hurt me. I forgive you. Please forgive me for everything which I've done, knowingly and unknowingly, which may have hurt you. God's blessings and peace be with me and with you. Go in peace. Once more, one last time. Take a deep breath. Atma Namaste. We're all children of God. We're all evolving. We all make mistakes. I forgive you unconditionally for everything you've done, knowingly and unknowingly, which has hurt me. Please forgive me for everything which I may have done, knowingly and unknowingly, which may have hurt you. God's blessings and peace be with me and with you. Go in peace. Atma Namaste. Project more pink light, cover them up in pink light. Feel, with the help and blessings of God, with the help of my spiritual teacher, with the help of the angels of love and relationships, with the angels of relationship healing, may brilliant healing light go to the partners in the relationship, to the couple, and fill them up with relationship healing, with happiness, with joy, with understanding, mercy, tolerance, flexibility, goodwill, the willingness to do good. May there be happiness, may there be peace, peace and peace. So be it, so be it, so be it. Cut the cord, cut, cut, cut. How do you feel? How do you feel? Happy? Relieved? Neutral? Sudden desire to serve divorce notices? No, no, hopefully not that. Hopefully not that. Or maybe that's the right thing for you, I don't know. If you're feeling an emotional outlet, if you're feeling tears, repeat the prayer of forgiveness. It's in the Golden Lotus Sutras. It's there. If you Google it, do the prayer of forgiveness. It's extremely, extremely powerful. Now, mind you, this works not just for romantic partners, but for family members, for other people who may have hurt you at any point, okay? God knows the world needs a lot of forgiveness and healing, right? So if you can do your part in healing, helping, why not? Now. We've kept the best part for the last. When you have been partner-free, never been affected, never been, yeah. See, in all affairs, it's a healthy thing now and then to hang a question mark on the things you've long taken for granted, right? We take a lot of things for granted in our own lives, in our own perspectives. And there's certain perspectives in our system which we are not aware of. And it's because we have these energies in our system, we are often unable to attract the right partner. See, often people take their loved ones for granted at home, okay? Because they assume that because they always have their love, we're secure. Unfortunately, this happens with many people. You see, this is a kind of negative self-image, but it's not about you. It's also something that's created by other people. It's not connected to you. So if you want to attract the right partner, there's a whole world out there, a huge world. What you got to do is channel all that love you have, put it out there with the intention that loving energy is going to you from the world. And since it's in giving that we receive, may the good energy come back to you. And for that, what better way to do this than the great invocation? Why the great invocation? Well, because I was looking for a good invocation for love, and then I decided, hey, you know what? I have a great invocation, not just a good one. Lol. Now, before you do this, first thing, this is a tool of world service. This is an instrument for helping healing the world. It's for the great divine plan to materialize. And the great divine plan, essentially for all of us, is that our mission, our purpose for our soul is to grow up, is to evolve. And if we can evolve with the help of a partner, and that person can also help evolve faster, then having the right partner is part of the divine plan. You could say that. So what we're going to do is we are going to chant this once, just once, not multiple times, just the one time. But you're going to be so sure of yourself. You're going to form an intention that is firm, that is powerful, that is bright, and that's full of light. So I want you to get charged up, all right? Feel that love. Imagine how it feels that all your love languages are being answered. So for all the stuff that people have written down, those who are brave enough, who took that step, who made that commitment, may you attract a partner who is right for you, who brings you happiness, who helps you grow and evolve peacefully. May your relationship be infinitely, harmoniously blessed by God, blessed by the spiritual teacher, blessed by the angels of love and relationships. And you be willing to receive. You give this love, and then you receive the love. It's a simple equation, right? Hands out, chest level. Be aware of your crown. I'm going to say this aloud, and I'm going to pause a little bit, and you're going to chant this with me verbally. None of that closing your mouth, and I'm going to chant in my mind. None of that crap. We're going to do this verbally. Ready? Ready. The great invocation. From the point of light within the mind of God, let light stream forth into the minds of every person, every being. Let light descend on earth. From the point of love within the heart of God, let love stream forth into the hearts of every person, every being. May Christ return to earth. From the center where the will of God is known, let purpose guide the little wills of men, the purpose which the holy masters know and serve. From the center, which you call the race of men, let the plan of love and light work out. May it seal the door where evil dwells. Let light and love and power restore the plan on earth. So be it. So be it. So be it. Be receptive. Be receptive. With the help and blessings of God, with the help of my spiritual teacher and all the great ones, we thank you for your priceless blessings of divine light, divine love, divine power. We thank you for blessing all of us here with happy relationships. For the people who are already in committed relationships, married, may their relationships be taken to the next level. May they be healed, may they be soothed, may they be harmonized, may they become spiritually more evolved, may they become more loving, more understanding. For the people who are single, may they attract the right partner. May they be blessed with an open mind and open awareness to see, to explore. May they develop the courage to go out of their comfort zones into their effort zones and attract the right partner. May the angels of love, of wisdom, of relationships, may they attract to them, may they assist them, may they help them and guide them to find the right partner now. With the help and blessings of God, so be it. With the help and blessings of my spiritual teacher, so be it. With the help and blessings of the angels of love and relationships, so be it. With the help and blessings of my higher soul, so be it. So be it, and so it is. Right. So that was our session for today. Hope you found it useful. But remember the first step. Remember the first step. If you're single and you're looking for a good relationship, step number one is not to move your hand around in circles, but to go out and start talking to people. Hope you found the session useful. If you did, please do leave some comments in our social media, Pranaworld, Instagram.com/pranaworldnet. Our prosperity healings and other healing sessions are on. Hope you found it useful. The recording for this, if you want, will be available within a couple of days. And you can direct this to your friends. So I wish you good luck and happy relationships. Take care. Atma Namaste.